thanks to the NFL's Keep Jim in School initiative. Good cause. Good to see Scott there keeping the kids in line. Now let's go back to Alex on stage 1.
What were some of the more interesting calls of Week 10? Time now for official review, one of my favorite segments on this show. And for that, we bring in Vice President of Officiating, Mike Pereira. Mike, let's start with the Giants-Eagle game. It's the third quarter of that game, 3rd and 10, with the Giants trailing. Now, the ruling on the field is that Eli Manning crosses the line of scrimmage before completing the throw deep in Eagles territory. It's ruled an illegal forward pass, which is a loss of down. That makes it 4th down. The Giants challenge the call. It's overturned. That sets up the go-ahead touchdown. Now, Mike, let's first just start talking about this actual rule. What is the rule?
Well, the actual rule is this, that the passer cannot be beyond the line of scrimmage when he passes the ball. 811 Supplemental Note 3. Boy, I know it by heart, that's for sure now. But here's the notion. The line of scrimmage, the passer, the body of the passer and the ball, everything has to be beyond the line. And the rule states whether he's on the ground or in the air. So the notion for us is, in order for that pass to be illegal, everything, including the back foot, must be beyond the line at the release of the pass.
I think, Mike, what was confusing to a lot of viewers at home is that the red line was actually wrong in that game. So how does the technology in a broadcast affect what the referee sees?
Yeah, and I think that's the real issue, because I think technology is great, and we've come so far in the production of our games, but if we just look at it here, it's the line that is really not, and you can even see it move, it's just not where it's centered supposed to be. Now, here's the release point. Now, what you really need to focus on, if you look at the line, just focus here at the yardage marker, because that's what we're looking for at the very top of the screen up there, that yardage marker. And that's where the line should be, because that's where the line of scrimmage is. So when you look at where that line of scrimmage point is and the release point of the ball, it is clear that that back foot is still well behind the line. So that led a lot of us to be confused, because it was the replay that was shown by the network. But in reality, when we're looking underneath the hood, we're not looking at that red line. The live shot didn't even show that red line, as a matter of fact. So once we got to this point and Terry looked here and he saw that the ball had been released, he saw where the down marker is at the top of the screen, then it was obvious to him, and it was true, that the quarterback was not totally beyond the line. The back foot was still behind. Therefore, it was not an illegal forward pass.
Mike, the Monday night game between the 49ers and the Cardinals ended in sheer confusion. Now, in the final play of the game, San Francisco calls a fullback dive play. They're stopped short. They lose the game. Mike Singletary, Mike Martz say that the spotting of the ball cost them that game. They say they thought it was on the 1. It was actually spotted on the 2.5 yards from the goal line after Frank Gore was ruled down by contact on the reviewed touchdown. So first, describe what happened on the final few plays of this game.
Well, certainly chaos. There's chaos anytime you get to the point where you're out of timeouts and you have running clocks, and we were that way in the inside of a minute. You know, when it got to this point and you had this play with Gore now being ruled down short of the goal line, you knew it was going to be reviewed. We had to take a look at that to see if he was actually touchdown before he actually got into the end zone. Now, the difficult part of a review and stopping the play here is that you have to see whether San Francisco is going to actually get a playoff, because you can't stop it if they're not going to get a playoff, because if you do and they never would have gotten another playoff, then obviously you would have given them a chance that they shouldn't have had. So replay assistant did a great job of waiting until the last second, which was actually 4 seconds, when he buzzed Tony Correnti to take a look at the play. When he did, the one thing that Tony saw clearly was that, yes, he was touched, and he, in fact, was down, and it was at the 2.5 yard line. And what we did at that point was wanted to make sure that the quarterback, Shaun Hill, clearly knew that the clock was going to start on Tony's signal. And at that point, we just followed our normal procedures. And you see Tony make the announcement at this point that he was touchdown and that the ball was at the 2.5, and he stated here that the clock was going to start on his signal. Then he did what we normally would do, and you actually see him running back in toward the formation to get to Shaun Hill to tell him now to make sure that he understood that the clock was going to start on his signal. We hold the umpire over the ball until everybody's set, then we move him away and let the ball be snapped. That's our normal procedures. That's the procedures coming out of replay, and I wouldn't want to do anything differently.
So, Mike, the question then is it the responsibility of the referee to go notify the coaches and tell them exactly where the ball is spotted?
No, it's not. I mean, my normal procedure in any replay is to make the announcement for everybody to hear and then get back and get the play set up, make sure the teams on the field know the status of the clock and that sort. So I can't have different procedures for different situations. As long as we follow the normal things that we do in replay, we're fine.
All right, a busy weekend for you, Mike. NFL Vice President of Officiating, Mike Pereira, thanks for joining us. And that is our official review. Coming up on NFL Total Access, back out to our crew in Foxborough.